What is the connection between astrology and law of attraction? Does it really mean that if you believe in astrology and things that are predestined, that it goes against law of attraction? Which one is more correct? I get this question a lot because I do astrology. I'm an astrologer, but I'm also a law of attraction coach. One thing I will tell you that the way society deemed astrology is so incorrect. That's where these questions were actually coming from, because of the wrong perception that we hold about astrology. Astrology is not a predestined thing. Astrology is about a free will. I will break this video down in a few different segments where I'm going to talk about the natal chart and its influence on your personality and how it actually shows that you have a free will. Then we're going to discuss progression chart, transits, planetary transits that are happening in the sky and what they might mean. Do they coincide, the transits, with manifestations and law of attraction? Thing that I also talk about on this channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nara. I'm all about astrology, manifestations, metaphysics, esoteric studies, because I wasn't able to make sense of the world and I did masters, mind you. Astrology is actually about a free will. There is nothing that is predestined in your natal chart. I'm sorry. I don't care how bad your natal chart looks. If you have Saturn in the wrong house or whatever the fuck, you still have a free will. The thing with natal chart astrology, because this is what I'm going to cover first, it shows us the inclinations, psychological and personality tendencies that we are naturally born with. And in your natal chart, starting from your rising sign all the way to the houses, personal planets, outer planets, aspects between planets, you know what it does to you? It carries two different vibrations. It has a positive characteristic which manifests in your behavior, as well as the negative characteristic which also manifests in your behavior. By becoming aware of the negative characteristics, we are becoming free to choose how to act, if that makes any sense. So let me give you my personal example. So I have Venus in Virgo in the 12th house. It's my chart ruler because I'm a Libra rising, and you know Libra is ruled by Venus, so Taurus is ruled by Venus. So your Venus sign position is your chart ruler, which determines the development of your personality the most, actually. So being a Libra rising, Libras are very social, you know, I'm very outgoing. I can literally start out a conversation with anyone, like anyone. I understand so many different perspectives at the same time. And yeah, I can justify anyone's behavior on my own. Now, having Venus in Virgo in the 12th house is all about isolation, being by yourself. Venus in Virgo is like very calculative in love and just the way you present yourself and what you love. Very specific, very moody too, detail oriented. You know, there's a specific way that Venus and Virgo wants their life to be and their relationship to be, and they're constantly analyzing it. So the positive characteristic of this is that I will never get played with a Venus in Virgo, which Venus and Pisces would, for instance. They are using their compassion of that sign, which is Pisces, and they're completely disregarding the axis that they have of Virgo, of being more calculative, of being more present in their body, determining what works for them or what doesn't in terms of their behaviors. So I used to deem this placement as a very bad one because that's what people said, right? That's not true at all. Say that you'll die alone with a Venus in Virgo, but I'm married. And I have 0 planets in the 7th house, which represents marriage. How did I fucking do that? I just used the positive characteristics of astrology. Instead of looking at my Venus in Virgo in the 12th house as a bad thing, I said to myself, you know what? I have more ability to isolate and connect with my own soul than other people. I don't want to constantly be in relationships like other people. Is it really bad? Because regular astrology, pop astrology will tell you that, oh, you're gonna die alone. Venus in Virgo in the 12th is a bad one. But in my personal opinion and my personal experience, I started using that placement in my career. By isolating myself, I can literally evaluate and analyze the things that are working in my relationships and are not working, so I can stop doing those things. So you do have a free will because each and every placement will show you positive and negative characteristics. Way I just mentioned the Venus in Pisces, right? I always tell clients who have this placement or even Venus in Taurus to not be completely relaxed in relationships because you're gonna miss a lot of red flags. Yeah, Venus in Pisces is exalted, right? But it makes you so dreamy that you really don't even pay attention to a person's red flags. And then Neptunian energy in Pisces manifests like this. You think that you're dating one person or married to one person because you literally wrapped your head up with that dream delusion that may not even exist because you lack analytical skills of Pisces Virgo, connection. And then one day you wake up to the fact that you are dealing with a person you barely know. Tell these people with Venus and Pisces to go into their analytical side of Virgo, which makes it easier for them to notice all those red flags. Astrology was all about free will. We literally becoming aware of different manifestations of our placements, becoming aware more so of the bad characteristics, of the negative characteristics that we were overdoing. Because in order to manifest, we need to change our self-concept. We need to change our tendencies, right? And that's where astrology comes into play. It helps you identify your traumas, where the shit is coming from. For instance, you look at your 4th house, you realize that, okay, this is where I get it from, by looking at your aspects. Carl Jung literally used astrology for this purpose, for shadow work. Astrology shows you everything, all possible manifestations in you. And you need to inquire, ask yourself, okay, is this me? Okay, this is me. These are the negative characteristics that are manifesting in my reality, in my behavior. Now I become aware that it's coming from that placement. And why not to switch to the opposite, the positive characteristic, and embody that and start acting from that? Because it's all about free will. I tell you this, that some things are inevitable, like deaths, illnesses, diseases, especially when it involves other people in your life, like family members. And this is exactly what I've dealt with. When I had my Pluto conjunct Uranus in the 4th house, my sister passed away. But I'm not in control of her consciousness. I can't control that person. This too was happening for my entire family, actually, to learn something about our own beliefs, our own ancestral line. Sometimes bad things will happen. You can't control it. But manifestation and law of attraction was all about controlling your reactions to the things that are happening in your life. It's not about controlling what happens. It's about controlling how you react to the things that are happening in your life. That's what law of attraction is all about. Progressions charts are literally when planets are moving. When you put transits, progressions chart on top of your natal chart, you will see where the current planetary placements and transits are positioned in your particular natal chart, what houses they are transiting, what aspects, conjunctions, trines, sextiles, squares, oppositions they are forming, the transits are forming with your planets that you were born with. What does it all mean? When Saturn is in your 6th house, that would mean that you need to take care of your routine more and serve the society more, right? Organizing and structuring your day-to-day better so that it works for your future goals, so that your future goals don't seem that far away. So this transiting in the 10th house, that would mean that your self-image, your public image at work, and just the way people perceive you is going to be changing, is going to be limited. What it tells you to do is to just become aware of where the transits are positioned right now in the sky when it comes to your natal chart. What will be happening in those areas? Things are always happening in our life. And even if you go back 10 years ago, I don't know, something happened, something major. I want you to go back and look at progressions chart and what was happening at the time. Happening because of the transits. But the thing about the transits is that even there, you still have a free will. And sometimes things are inevitable, like deaths and illnesses, especially not involving you, like your family members, other people you're connected to. You can't control how they think. You can't control the energy they are vibrating from. Same time, it is telling you that what might happen. Astro never tell you this is exactly what's going to happen, exactly what's going to happen. One house can mean so many different things. We may have like Saturn in the 6th house at the same time, like collectively, but each and every one will experience different things. Somebody will have a shift in jobs, somebody will have a shift in routine because of a job, or will lose a job, and that's how their routine is going to change. You see what I mean? So the thing about universe, right? Universe always, astrology, shows us what's about to happen. And it is your responsibility to use it correctly and control your reaction to those things. Universe always tests you, It's like, okay, you let go of your triggers, you change your self-concept. How about that? Let's see when this particular transit is in your whatever house or forms of whatever aspect, we'll see how you react. It is literally your free will to choose how you respond to those transits. I have Saturn return starting this month in my 6th house. Saturn in Pisces. Saturn return is all about karma, right? It's something that you've been doing before, either neglecting or utilizing that placement. So if you've been neglecting that placement and not developing it correctly, your Saturn, then you're going to reap the bad benefits. That's what karma is. It's your own doing. Right? But how you react to those bad things happening is going to determine whether they are going to continue to happen or they're going to stop. Because in each and every moment, your reaction, how you perceive things, how you respond to things, if you're conscious enough, you're deciding You're deciding the next moment. But if you're unconscious and you're taken over by those things, the transits, and cannot utilize them correctly, you're going to be creating your next moment of the same vibration. Transits honestly just telling us what area of life needs our attention. If your Pluto is in the 5th house, that would mean that you need to take control of your creative process. And if you don't, you'll get pissed at yourself when the Pluto forms an aspect with one of your malefic planets. Does that make sense? But even then, you don't have to get pissed at yourself, because you can choose how to respond differently, because you can always go in the direction of the planet and the nature of the planet, what it means, because each planet literally has a solution. For instance, Pluto, that means releasing control. In whatever area of your life it is positioned, it means that all of these addictive and obsessive thoughts and feelings and the past getting in the way, whenever it enters your 5th house or 7th house, you'll have to let go of that controlling behavior, because it's going to interfere with your relationships. 5th house, romance, and 7th house, marriage, partnerships. Astrology is not a solidified shit. It will mean different things for everyone. It's there to tell you in what areas of life transits are happening and what needs your attention, so you can choose the best self-concept and how to respond, how to act, how to behave in those areas, so that you can get the most out of that transit. I really hope this helps you guys, and it answers a lot of questions, because a lot of people have misconceptions when it comes to astrology and manifesting. It's all about how you look at it. And the universe will always test you, even when you have already solidified a good self-concept. Things from the past, or universe will be throwing things at you to test you, to see how solidified you are in that new self-concept and whether it needs more change. Because sometimes your self-concept that you've developed a few years ago stops working, and you need to, adjust based on what's happening, based on how you're reacting to the things that are happening. I really hope this helps. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video.